The rain didn't stop that night. Alina sat on the cold floor near the broken window. She watched the drops fall one by one. Her clothes were thin, her hands were cold, but her heart was warm with hope. She believed that maybe, one day, life would get better. She was only 17. She had never gone to school. She had never seen the city. But she had big dreams of being loved, of being free, of finding someone who would care for her. Her mother, Noreen, was very different. Noreen didn't believe in dreams. She believed in money. That was all she ever talked about. And that night, while the rain hit the roof like small stones, Noreen made a decision that would change Alina's life forever. The knock on the door came. Just after midnight, Alina opened her eyes. Her mother rushed to the door and opened it without a word. A tall man stood outside. He wore a long, dark coat. He didn't smile. His eyes looked cold like a winter night. They spoke in whispers. Alina couldn't hear everything, but she heard these words, ... yes, she's ready. ... the money. ... no questions, no returns. The door closed again. The man disappeared into the dark. Noreen turned to Alina. "Pack your things," she said, not meeting her daughter's eyes. "Where are we going, Mama?" Alina asked, confused. "You're not a child anymore," Noreen said. "A family friend is taking you in. You'll be cared for. No more poverty." Alina blinked. Her heart beat faster. "I don't know them." "You don't need to," Noreen said sharply. "Just do as I say and be grateful." By morning, a black car came to pick her up. It looked expensive, something Alina had never seen before in real life. Noreen stood by the door with a fake smile, her hands full of cash. She didn't hug her daughter. She didn't even say goodbye. The man from the night before opened the door. "Get in," he said. Alina hesitated. Her feet felt heavy. She looked back at her mother, but Noreen had already turned away and walked inside. No goodbye, no tears, no love. The car drove 4 hours. Fields turned into hills. Roads turned quiet. Alina sat quietly in the back seat, her hands shaking. She didn't know where she was going. The man said nothing, not even his name. Finally, they reached a tall iron gate. It opened slowly. Behind it stood a mansion, big, quiet, and cold-looking. It didn't feel like a home, felt like a trap. The man opened the door for her again. "From now on," he said, "you live here." She stepped out. The sky above was gray. No sun, no smile. Inside the mansion, everything smelled of expensive perfume and silence. The walls were too clean. Tia. The hallways too quiet. No laughter. No warmth. A woman in a black uniform took her bag and led her to a small room at the back of the house. No windows. Just one bed. "Rest," the woman said. "You'll meet the master tomorrow." Alina sat on the bed, her body stiff. Her eyes burned with tears. She didn't want to cry. She looked around the empty room, hugged her small bag, and whispered, "What did Mama do to me?" She didn't know the truth yet. But one thing was clear. She had not been sent to live with a friend. She had been sold, and now she was alone in a strange house, with strangers who didn't smile. The next morning, Alina woke to the sound of keys turning in the door. She sat up quickly, still wearing the same clothes from the night before. Her heart pounded as the door creaked open. A tall woman in a black uniform stepped in. She looked serious, like someone who didn't smile often. "Follow me," the woman said. Alina stood up slowly. Her legs were weak. She hadn't eaten. She hadn't slept well, but she followed without saying a word. The hallway was wide and cold. The floors were so clean they looked like glass. Expensive paintings hung on the walls, but Alina didn't look at them. She was too scared. They stopped in front of a big wooden door. The woman knocked twice, then opened it. Inside was a large office. A man sat behind a dark desk. He was the same one who brought her here. His eyes met hers. "Come in," he said. Alina stepped inside, her hands shaking. The man stood up. "My name is Mr. Eldon. This house is mine. From now on, you live here. You will not leave. You will not ask questions." Alina's voice trembled. "Why am I here?" He didn't answer. Instead, he looked at the maid. "Take her back." Start cleaning tomorrow." Door closed behind her. That night, Alina sat on the small bed in the dark room. No one spoke to her. No one explained anything. Dinner was bread and water, left outside her door. She ate in silence. Tears ran down her cheeks, but she didn't make a sound. She missed her old life even if it was poor. At least there, she had the sky, the fields, and her memories. Now, she was nothing but a shadow in a big house that felt like a cage. Days passed. Alina worked quietly. She cleaned the floors, washed the sheets, and dusted the corners. She didn't speak unless spoken to. The other staff didn't talk to her much, but one day, while cleaning the old library, she noticed something strange. A book on the shelf looked different. Its cover was torn. Curious, she pulled it slightly and the shelf moved just a little, like it was hiding something. Before she could check, she heard footsteps. She quickly put the book back and turned away. It was Mr. Eldon. His eyes narrowed. "Stay out of this room unless told otherwise." "Yes, sir," she whispered. That night, someone slipped a small folded note under her door. She opened it slowly. In simple handwriting, it said, "You don't deserve this. Be careful. Not everyone here is safe." Alina stared at the note, her hands shaking. Who wrote it? Why? And what did they mean by not safe? She folded the note and hid it under her pillow. For the first time, a small flame of fear and hope both burned in her heart. She wasn't just trapped, she was being watched. That night, Alina couldn't sleep. The note under her pillow felt heavy, like it was alive. She read it again in the dim light. "You don't deserve this. Be careful. Not everyone here is safe." She whispered the words again and again, as if trying to find a voice inside them. Who could have written it? And why now? For the first time since she arrived, she didn't feel completely alone. The next evening, after cleaning the long dining hall, she returned to her small room as she opened the door. Something was waiting on the bed, a sandwich wrapped in a cloth and a bottle of clean water. No note this time. No footsteps, just quiet kindness. Her eyes filled with tears. She hadn't tasted real food in days. She ate slowly, savoring every bite, feeling something strange and forgotten rise in her chest. Hope. Later that night, she heard a light knock at her door. She froze. Another knock. Softer this time. "Who is it?" she whispered through the door. There was silence. Then a soft voice replied, "I'm not here to hurt you." It was a young male voice, careful and gentle. "Who are you?" she asked, stepping closer. "Just someone who works here," he answered. "My name doesn't matter yet. I saw what they did. You didn't deserve it." "Why? You helping me?" Alina asked, her voice low. There was a pause. "Because I know what it feels like to be locked in a place you don't belong." From that night on, he returned often, never showing his face, never entering the room, but he'd sit outside her door, talking to her softly, about small things, about the outside world, about books, music, and memories he still held on to. Alina began to feel something she hadn't felt in weeks. Safe. "I don't even know your name," she said one night, smiling for the first time. He chuckled softly. "Let's just say, I'm someone who believes you have a right to choose your life." His voice was warm, strong, honest. She began to look forward to the quiet knock each night. And with each talk, her heart healed just a little, but still. The mansion held its secrets. Mr. Eldon watched her more closely now. He asked questions. His tone had changed. He no longer treated her like someone new. He treated her like someone his dot, and the way he looked at her made her skin crawl. One night, her quiet visitor whispered, "We have to get you out of here. Soon." Alina froze. "Tomorrow," he said. "After dinner, leave your door unlocked. I'll come." Her heart raced. Escape, the word felt like sunshine. But as the next night came, the mansion was too quiet, too cold, and when the time came, he didn't come. No knock. No voice, no footsteps, just silence. Alina sat on the edge of her bed, her heart beating like a drum. The clock ticked loudly in her ears. She had left the door unlocked, just as he told her. She had hidden her small bag under the bed, packed only with what little she owned. The note, a scarf, and her father's old locket. She kept glancing at the door, expecting to hear that soft, familiar knock. But it didn't come. The hallway outside was silent. Too silent, minutes turned into hours. The shadows in her room grew longer. The small candle beside her flickered until it finally died out, leaving her in total darkness. She whispered, "Where are you?" But only silence answered back. Earlier. That day, he had spoken with such certainty. "We'll go through the kitchen door. I have access." "No one will see us," he had said softly from behind the door. "There's a gate in the back garden. I know the code. But we must move quietly. No lights, no sound." Alina had nodded, holding on to his every word like a child holding on to the edge of a cliff. She believed him, for the first time since her mother abandoned her. She had believed someone again. But now, nothing. No knock, no whisper. No escape, just fear. She waited until the morning light peeked through the crack under the door, and then came the knock, but not his. It was loud, sharp, angry. The maid opened the door without asking. "You're needed in the front hall." Now, Alina followed her, feeling the walls close in around her. When she reached the main hall, Mr. Eldon stood in front of a large painting. He didn't turn around. "Did you really think," he said slowly, "that someone like you could outsmart me?" Her chest tightened. "I know everything that happens in this house. Every breath, every footstep," he continued, finally turning toward her. His eyes burned with quiet rage. She couldn't speak. Her mouth was dry. "You were planning to escape," he said. "Weren't you?" Alina tried to stay calm. "No, sir." I was." Just before she could finish, he raised a hand. "I don't care for lies," he said. "And I don't forgive." Betrayal. She was locked in her room that day. The door was bolted shut from the outside. No food. No voice. No visitor, not even him. That night, curled in the corner of her cold room, Alina cried silently. Not just because she was trapped, not just because the escape had failed, but because someone she trusted, someone she waited for, had vanished without a word. She whispered, "Did he lie? Was I just foolish again?" Her heart, once slowly healing, began to break all over again. But deep down, a tiny spark still burned. What if he didn't lie? What if something had happened to him? And what if he was still trying? The next day, the lock on Alina's door finally clicked open, but no one spoke. The maid placed a tray of food on the floor and left without even looking at her. The door shut again behind her with a loud thud. Alina didn't touch the food. Her stomach growled, but her heart was heavier. She still hadn't seen the boy. The one who had promised to help her. The one who gave her hope. Was he caught? Was he punished, or did he betray her? Later that night, as the house slept and silence returned, Alina sat by the small crack in the floor near the bed. She ran her fingers over the wooden board and noticed something strange. One of the floorboards felt loose. Curious, she lifted it carefully. Below it, hidden in the darkness, was a dusty old box. She opened it with trembling hands. Inside were a few torn papers, letters, and an envelope sealed with wax. Her eyes caught the name on one of the letters. Lena Noor. She gasped. The letter was addressed to her. With shaking hands, she opened it and began to read. Dear Alina, if you are reading this, then it means the truth is starting to come out. I never wanted this for you. I begged your mother to let you stay with me, but she chose money over love. Alina's breath caught in her throat. She kept reading. I gave your mother everything. I married her, trusted her, and promised to care for you like my own daughter. But she tricked me. She sold you to my cruel cousin using my name, pretending it was for your future. When I tried to stop it, she locked me away in this house. At the bottom was the signature Daniel Noor. The room began to spin. Daniel, the boy who had talked to her at night, was not a servant. He was her stepfather, the real owner of the mansion, the one who had truly cared. Tears fell from her eyes like rivers. She remembered his soft voice, his kindness, his gentle words. He wasn't lying. He had risked everything to help her escape. Suddenly, the missing pieces clicked into place. Mr. Eldon, the man who claimed to own the mansion, was Daniel's cousin. A man who had stolen everything, including her freedom, and her mother. Had known all of it. She had not just sold her. She had betrayed the only person who ever cared for them both. Alina's hands shook, but her heart grew stronger. For the first time, she knew the truth. And with that truth came a spark of courage. She whispered into the night, Daniel, I'm going to find you. The next morning, Alina stood at the small window of her room, staring at the sky. For the first time since she arrived, the clouds had started to part. A few rays of sunlight fell on the old walls of the mansion. She held the letter from the hidden box close to her heart. She had read it again and again through the night, each word like a piece of her broken life. Coming together, Daniel had tried to protect her, and he had been silenced. A knock came at the door. Her body stiffened, but it was not the usual sharp knock of the maid. It was soft, familiar. She rushed to the door and pressed her ear. Against it, a whisper came. It's me. Alina's breath caught. Daniel, she whispered. I'm sorry, the voice said. They found out I was helping you. They locked me in the old servants' quarters, but I escaped. I had to. She quickly opened the door, and there he stood. His face was bruised. His clothes were torn, but his eyes, they were still kind. Alina's throat tightened. You came back. Daniel nodded, breathing heavily. I couldn't leave you here. It's not after everything your mother and Eldon did. I read your letter. She said softly, I know everything now. He looked surprised, then smiled sadly. I hid it, hoping you'd find it. I knew one day you'd need the truth. They sat together on the floor of her small room. For a moment, there was only silence between them, peaceful, powerful silence. Then Daniel spoke. I have two choices for you, Alina. The car is waiting outside. I have enough to help you disappear forever. New name, new life. Far away from all this, she looked at him, surprised. He continued, or we stay. We fight. We take this house back. We tell the world what Eldon did, what your mother did, but it will be dangerous. Alina didn't answer at first. She thought about the pain, the lies, the nights alone, the betrayal, and then she thought about the other girls, the ones who might come after her, the ones who might never escape. I don't want to run anymore, she said quietly. If we leave, they'll keep doing this to others. Daniel nodded slowly. Then we fight. They spent the rest of the day planning. Daniel still had proof documents. Letters, old recordings. Alina had the letter and her voice. And for the first time, she was ready to use it. That night, as the sun finally set behind the hills, Alina looked in the mirror. She didn't see the girl who had cried in silence. She saw someone brave, someone strong, someone ready. The mansion was silent that morning, but something felt different. Alina walked through the cold halls, not as a servant or a prisoner, but as someone who now knew the truth. Her steps were firm, her eyes steady. Daniel walked beside her, holding the folder full of evidence. He looked at her and whispered, "Are you ready?" Alina nodded. More than ever. Later that day, the police arrived. They came in black uniforms, quiet but quick. Mr. Eldon's face turned pale when he saw them step into the main hall. "What is the meaning of this?" he shouted, but Daniel stepped forward. "It's over, Eldon. I've taken everything you stole back." Alina handed the letter to the lead officer. "This is the proof. I was sold, lied to, locked away." One by one, the officers checked the documents. Within minutes, Mr. Eldon was handcuffed and taken away. No shouting, no more pretending, just silence and justice. Alina watched from the doorway as the car drove away with the man who had trapped her. She didn't smile. She didn't cry. She just breathed, deeply, freely. Then she turned to Daniel. "What happens now?" she asked softly. Daniel looked around the mansion. "This house is legally mine again, but it's never been a real home. Not without peace, not without family." He paused. "I want to leave this place, start fresh, somewhere warm, simple. Would you come with me?" Alina stared at him. In this house, she had been treated like a thing to be owned, but in his eyes, she saw something different. She saw care. She saw safety. She saw love. Months passed. Far away from the cold mansion, Alina now lived in a small cottage near the sea. The windows were always open. The air smelled like salt and sunlight. She grew flowers in the garden. Daniel fixed old furniture and played guitar in the evenings. They laughed, they talked, and slowly they healed one evening while watching the sunset together. Daniel turned to her. "You once asked me why I helped you," he said. Alina smiled. "Yes, you never really answered." He took her hand gently. "Because when I saw you, I saw someone who had every reason to give up but didn't, and that made me believe in something again." Alina felt her eyes water. "You gave me a reason to believe, too," she whispered. "When everyone else saw me as nothing, you saw me as a person." And there, on that quiet beach, under a sky painted with gold and pink, Alina found something she never expected. Not just freedom, not just justice, but love, the kind that didn't hurt, the kind that didn't control, the kind that simply stayed.